Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode of the Smashing Crossbar Podcast. I'm your host, Crossbar Capers, and with me today is my very good mate and who will be on most of my episodes. We have Corner Flag Games, mate. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, mate. How you doing?
Mate, absolutely fabulous as always. So obviously this podcast will be very A League related and we'll run virtually through the whole season. Now we've started to get into a bit of pre-season, so I figured why not kick it off and see what's happening obviously in the A League and with our beloved Newcastle Jets. As some of you may or may not know, I am born and bred Newcastle, converted Ben here whilst I was in Melbourne, and let's see what we can do, obviously, with a pretty strong year we had, and we'll move on, mate. So what I'm going to do with our first topic is to get your input of the 2017-2018 season.
Well, yeah, what is there to say? Are
you still salty?
I think that look describes it all. Yeah, VAR, I hate you so much. Get out of the Australian game. Considering it's now spoiling the World Cup as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely on struggle street, I suppose, in the World Cup. But again, not here to discuss the World Cup. If anyone wants to go over and listen to that stuff, Lads Entertainment Network, which Ben and myself are a part of, jump onto that podcast, which we do weekly also, and it has everything World Cup related at the moment, the good, the bad, and the damn right ugly from last episode.
which is still not live on Facebook yet. I haven't unprivatized it yet.
haven't even got there, mate. Haven't even got there. Good stuff. So obviously we'll talk a little bit about last season. Go on. Obviously, we made the grand final. Controversial loss, But in all honesty, obviously, our prediction wasn't to get to the World Cup. Yeah, sorry, the World Cup. See, I'm still talking about
in World Cup mode.
Still in World Cup mode. Our prediction wasn't to get to the grand final. Our prediction is a club was top 8, and we got there. Which we haven't been able to do in recent seasons. I think we're up to 9 seasons now. Yeah, I think without finals.
9.
So we got the new coach in, Ernie Merrick, champion. Thanks for coming on board, buddy. Can't stress that enough. And obviously, tops. Again, guys, I will stress we do have kids.
Yeah, I just shooed my daughter away.
We do find it hard to find 5 minutes to ourselves. Again, males can relate with wives and so forth. We don't get much time to ourselves.
Yeah, hence why this is being done at 11:20 on a Monday night.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. So yeah, look, as I said, we'll make it pretty short and sweet. Season, great effort as far as I'm concerned. I don't know about yourself, mate, but it was a job well done.
It was very job well done. Ernie, at the start of the season, it's very well documented that Ernie brought the boys into the sheds in the early parts of the season and said, right, my goal is to qualify for finals, which in this country is top 6.
Top 6, yeah. I think I said top 8. So
yeah, top 6, yeah, which is top 6, and he put that to the playing squad, and the playing squad weren't happy with that, and they said, no way, we want top 3.
And with the players we brought in, obviously we deserved to be there.
We did. After wooden spooners at the end of last season, and granted, we didn't finish in first place. We were 14 points off finishing in first place, but a very strong place second. We did well to come away with what we did, and making the final, the run into it wasn't exactly easy for us either. Yep.
Yeah, look, as I said, we got the new owners in, obviously, which gave us a little bit of leverage, gave us a bit more money than obviously some of the other clubs. Thankfully, Central Coast still struggling down the bottom of the table.
Where they belong.
Keep that shit up. I'm more than happy for you to sit down there for another decade. That'd be muchly appreciated.
Oh, many spoons were thrown.
Oh, there was plenty of spoons, plenty of spoons. Again, guys, I will mention, obviously, along with this podcast, I am going to do a lot more vlogs at Jets games this season. Going to try and get, obviously, possible, interviews with, obviously, a few of the NCL boys, which I'm a part of, a few of the old squadron members, which I've still associate with and still talk to, and obviously, hopefully, who knows, maybe Laurie McKinnon himself may get a little shout out, little talk on here, mate. NCL.
I wear it at work every day.
Again, guys, anyone who wants a scarf, I can get one, $20 a pop. Sean, don't worry about it, mate. Don't worry about me commission. I'll just plug that for free. But yeah, again, guys, we do have scarves remaining, heaps of them, and they're good quality scarves for this.
I wear mine every day at work.
100%. So, obviously, we'll move on from the obviously season past, and we'll talk season present. Pre-season training started on Friday, and so the boys come back obviously from 2 months or so off, thereabouts.
Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah, roughly 6 or 7 weeks, something like that. Break, come back, and getting straight into it. No mucking around. The guys are leaving for Hakui or something like that. I'm not 100% butchered the Chinese name, but off to China. We'll just go there. Off to China. Sorry, guys. Little pre-season tournament. I think they leave out tomorrow, so this is done on Monday night. So Tuesday morning, the guys fly out to participate in a little tournament with 3 other teams, which I do believe are Beijing Goan, Shanghai Shenhua, and Sydney FC. Unfortunately, we had to bring another A League side with us. Yeah, could have been someone else important, but anyway. But your thoughts? Obviously, you've seen the team that's going over there, mate. You're happy, disappointed, people you would have liked to go over? Any?
No, it's been good. I mean, Ernie did come out today in the media and said that he's taking a predominantly youth squad across for this tournament, which isn't exactly a bad thing. It gets them some exposure in Asia as well. We do have quite a stronghold in the Chinese market now as an A-League team owned and backed by Chinese business, which is quite good. But yeah, it's good that he's bringing in a couple of youth players to travel with the squad. He's leaving quite a few experienced players at home for it. And he's also taking quite a lot of the fringe, or what we would call our fringe players, across to get some running into their legs and some game time as well, considering that he probably want to save his first choice 11 and his more experienced squad for the later tournament for when we head over to Spain, which is, I think it's 2 or 3 weeks after we finish up in China. Jet setting all over the world at the moment. But on the squad, he's taken Duncan, Hoffman, Kanarovsky, Ugarkovic, Ivan Vyutsa, Nick Cowburn, Johnny Katrumbas, Costa Petrados, Mossy, Lachlan Jackson, new signing Matthew Redenton, Joey Champness, Angus Thurgate. They are the senior squad members that he is taking. And he's also... there's a couple of players that he's taking, which is youth players, Jack Simmons, Jackson Frendo, and Kieran Hayes. Also, with the trialists coming through that we've picked up from Broadmeadow Magic in the Northern New South Wales MPL, and current and ex-Jet as well, James Vigili.
Yeah, well, as I said, look, I'm going to touch on him a fair bit in the podcast because I think personally just brilliant raw talent out of Newcastle, and he got plenty of chances in his first stint. Unfortunately, injuries caught up with him and missed out on all that sort of stuff. But yeah, my take on the squad that he's taken over is, he wants to see what we've got in the pipeline, what we've got if we do fall short like we did halfway through last season with injuries and extended long injuries. again, O'Donovan's out for 10 weeks.
Funny you should mention that.
If his trial doesn't go well, I believe he's got an inquest tomorrow or this week sometime.
6 hours ago, there was an article released about it. The appeal committee is hearing the case on the Tuesday, the 10th of July, commencing at 5:30.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I think he's fighting an uphill battle. He may shave 2 games off it if he's lucky. I think if he gets 8 weeks, I probably wouldn't be complaining about it. It's probably deserved. I do believe the FFA Cup games do count, so hopefully the boys may get a few wins in through that, which will shave a few more off.
Yeah.
You might only miss, 5 to 6 A League games itself. But look, I think bringing the young guys over there, running them through their paces, seeing what they got. Again, Ernie Merrick came out the other day and stated that, pre-season for him isn't fun. Guys rocked up on Friday and guarantee got told that. Don't expect excitement, don't expect fun, don't expect to see balls. I dare say those guys will be running for nearly 3 months and pray for a game because it's about the only ball time they'll probably get. Pardon me, which will be good, I think. So, look, mate, we'll move on. Obviously, James Vigili is probably the talk of the town at the moment. I think obviously with some of the guys we've let go in the past and guys we probably, wish we hadn't. This is probably definitely one of those guys who we wish we hadn't let go, but understand the reasonings behind it. So obviously, if you want to get into detail, obviously Vigili was obviously I think it was 2009, the year after we won the grand final. He became the youngest player in the A League to start.
That he did.
16 years, 5 months, 27 days, thereabouts, which impressive feat.
Massive
achievement. And, if he wasn't to get a second chance like he has, it's something to be, nothing to be sneezed at, and I'd be proud of that regardless if my season didn't take off again. Look, we released him in 2015 thereabouts, and
end of the Stubbins era.
Probably a good thing he got out, to be fair. He's down on pretty shit years. So if anything, he's probably cheering he went to Broadmeadow because he's firing in there. He's
he's banging goals for fun.
Yeah, I think he's played about 50-odd games and he's scored about 40-odd goals. So his record at the moment is phenomenal.
42 and 53.
42 and 53, there you go. So, look, and he's agile, he's quick, his speed is just phenomenal up and down the pitch, and he'll run for days where I think at 25 he will fill that role when the boot's gone because he'll run all day and he won't stop. And if Ernie sees enough potential, here's hoping he does get a contract. And personally, I don't know about yourself, mate, but I wouldn't knock him back.
No, at this stage I wouldn't, considering the transfer market in the Australian A League is, for those watching overseas, is a very difficult thing. We're not allowed to transfer players between each other.
Yep.
Have any transfer fees. If you want a player, they've got to get out of their contract at their current club, become a free agent, then sign a contract with you. I could sit here and talk for hours on how rubbish it is, and I'm pretty sure that there are restrictions on loan players as well. I don't think you can loan a first team player from one side to another from memory. It's got to be for a specific reason, and if it's an injury replacement, it can't come. And then there's you got your mature age rookies and all that sort of shit that falls into it too. So. I wouldn't knock it, considering how heavily the A League relies on Australian players. Yep. And at the moment, I don't see a better fit in the A League that we could potentially grab our hands on.
Look, it's early days, obviously. As I said, we're only a week into pre-season training, and everyone's plenty of time for people to come and go. We've seen some transfers in the pipes already, and obviously some good ones, even coaches' appointments coming and going. So it's very early days, and obviously the closer we get, obviously, the more info we'll bring you guys, obviously. And, look, it's hard to say, like I think he deserves a shot.
Yeah.
Some say he won't get one. Take this trip to China and pray that you may get picked up by another side is what some are saying. Personally, myself, I wouldn't knock him back at this stage. I think he's got the goods and the pace and the speed that we will miss now, obviously, with Naboot gone and
physicality more so than anything else.
Yeah,
and that hunger.
Yeah, and again, you've got Donovan gone for however long he gets, and Rodriguez now gone, McGree's gone. There's a lot of strike power there that we're missing, and we need something. And why not homegrown talent if we can get it? So he's going to choose the Jets over any other A League club. So put pen to paper, I'd say, and hopefully we get one there. Another quick one.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go, mate. Yeah, you got one.
Well, I was just thinking, like, the Jets are in. We know that O'Donovan's going to be out at this stage for 10 games.
Yeah.
The club, from what I remember hearing, is that we were looking for somebody that could fill a marquee to fill the boots of Pato Rodriguez. In saying that, though, Ernie and the club were looking for somebody who was an out-and-out striker but could also play wing, so that when O'Donovan comes back, they can shift him out onto the left to replace in that spot, which I don't think is a bad idea. But by signing Vigili, and I'm pretty sure this is what the club's going to be going about doing, is get a homegrown Australian player to fill that. That way, all they have to do is look for an out-and-out striker. Because they're a hell of a lot easier to come by than what is an out-and-out striker plus winger. Like, it's not a position that you can rotate to between very easily or very comfortably. They're very different ways in how those roles work.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, I actually came up with a question I was going to ask you whilst we were starting this. 2 questions. Your thoughts? Vargas staying, Rodriguez leaving. Good, bad, possibly. Rodriguez, obviously, he didn't get much of a chance. Some people sort of were happy to see him go. Personally, myself, look, for what we were paying him, which I believe was virtually nothing because we got him on loan. I feel that he probably should have got a chance, at least maybe till January. And Vargas, well, again, I think everyone in Newcastle wants him to succeed and obviously him to have a full season under his belt and give him the chance to produce what he did in the first 3 games before obviously getting injured, which was just class and something we haven't seen at the club for a while. So your take on it, bud?
Look, to be brutally honest, I am on the other side of the fence a bit. I was one of those people who were happy to see him go. Look, fantastic game against the Coast, but aside from that, did relatively nothing. I fall into the camp of, and I agree to this to a certain extent, he was a luxury player that we couldn't afford.
Yeah.
His work rate defensively was very questionable.
True.
His decision-making in the final third was also very questionable. He was one of those players that would be more than happy to take on the entire field and be the hero himself instead of playing as a team and looking for the best option.
Yep.
That, and in doing that, caused a lot of possession turnover. Some of which hurt us, some of which didn't, obviously. But a player like that, with that mentality going forward, comparable with his... I don't want to string the poor guy up, but lack of defensive work was something in that crucial time of the season that we couldn't afford to risk.
Yeah, no, fair call. I think a lot of the fan base would agree with you there. And, look, it's one of those things, you come, you go. We've seen it plenty of times. Coco talk the talk.
Oh, wow.
And he couldn't walk the walk. We could
go, no way.
Mate, we've had plenty of duds. Mario Jardel. There's been plenty. There's been plenty at the club.
Now you're scraping at the bottom of the barrel. On regards to Coco, mate, there were even times that he couldn't even talk the talk with a broken jaw.
Yeah, well, give him credit.
I'll give him his credit. He had the desire and he had the drive. And I tell you what, when he did play balls against the wall. And he was determined. He was determined to make a name for himself. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out in his favour. I believe we signed Coco at the wrong point at the club's lifetime. But
and his as well. I think he was at the end of his lifetime. Personally,
I don't think he was at the end. I just didn't think he could match the physicality of the A League. But that was an FFA signing, and come on, let's be fair. They weren't going to go splash out $1.5 million a year for a marquee.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. Scandinavia is obviously a completely different league, and different climates. It all weighs up. Unfortunately, people think it's no different than someone leaving France and going to England, or Germany going to England. It's completely different games, and as we've talked on many times, you're no different to your Ronaldos and your Messis. Two different people playing for two different teams,
two different skill sets.
Two different
everything.
Exactly right. So, give him his credit. He come out, he tried his hardest, he caught plenty for the team, including the broken jaw.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, obviously, friggin' happy to
see him go. Potato, as he's affectionately known by the supporter base.
Good old Potato.
He's just, look, I think when he also arrived from AEK Athens as well, I feel that he may have been a bit underdone, fitness-wise. He spent a lot of the time with us getting his fitness back, and I still don't think he hit peak fitness while he was with us.
Yeah, true.
But even still, Laurie came out and said it himself. For that sort of money, we can get somebody better.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
Which is a fair call. That at the end, I would suppose would come down to Ledman as a business decision.
Yeah.
With Laurie and Joel going, if we have a look around, we might be able to find something a bit sweeter.
Yeah.
For relatively the same money.
Fair call. So we'll move on to Vargas. Obviously, Ronnie, he hit the ground running very quick. He come in, and I think a lot of people had massive expectations, including obviously I think even some of probably the other clubs, going shit. This bloke may be forced to reckon with, and watch out for him. And for the first couple of weeks, he was. Even in the game that he got done against Brisbane, he was, and that's probably what hurt him in the end, because he was just he was on it, and he was at probably at the best point of his career. I think if you'd got an interview with him, I reckon he'd probably say the same thing. He came in here fresh, he came in here ready to go and to prove a point, and he'd done that, and I think he's still done that when he come back to an extent.
Yeah.
Nowhere near what he was when he first got here, but obviously with the injuries and the lengthy time he had off, he done well to come back, period. So
he wanted on that pitch. He wanted on that pitch, and he was going to crawl over broken glass to do it, pin in his leg or not.
Yeah.
He played the remainder of the season with the pin in his leg. He's just recently had the pin out of his leg, hence why he hasn't made it back to Australia to get back into Jets training as yet. He hasn't done pre-season yet, but he is on a full physiotherapy plan at the moment with his physio currently in Belgium.
Yeah.
But he is joining the squad for the pre-season trip to Spain.
Yeah. Which obviously I'd imagine most of the guys would be back raring to go for that one. I think that'll be that's where they want to be doing well. Yep. I think they're going over now to China. All it is just a couple of friendlies. New stadium's been built there in Akoi, and it's more of a christening the new stadium there. Obviously, with a couple of good teams from Asia. Don't get me wrong, Sydney found out firsthand in the Asian Champions League this year about about Shanghai. I think it was Shanghai. I think
it was Shanghai Shenhua.
And I think they found out firsthand that they're no pushovers, and they won't be, and they'll be far from pushovers. Obviously, in the tournament, considering they're virtually in their straps. Friggin' they're well beyond preseason training. So
yeah, it's the other side of the coin now. Generally, when the Asian Champions League's happening, all those sides are coming into their preseason. So they're the ones that are relatively underdone, and we're the ones that are in their season. It's turned on its head now for this preseason tournament. They're going through their seasons, and we've been on 2 months holiday.
Correct. And that's obviously where I believe we can't expect too much. Obviously, the minimum 2 games we'll get. Look, I think, as I said, Ernie's not going over there to win games. I think he's just going over there to get some fitness into the legs, see what these boys are about. Considering, as I said, Virgili himself, he's fit. He's been playing for the last 4 months. So, he's raring to go, and I think he'll lead by example, and he'll be one of the key ones leading them around the park personally.
Oh, great.
It's
a chemistry building exercise, to be fair. It's a glorified training run.
Yeah, 100%. And, I think personally, a note I'd love to touch on is obviously the feeling around Newcastle in itself after getting as far as we did. As far as mates, and I've seen people obviously all over Facebook on the Jets pages and that organising pre-season trips for the FFA Cup to the Gold Coast. That's absurd. No way in hell would any of the guys of last season or the year before we're going to Brisbane to watch frigging the FFA Cup. Not a chance in hell. But I think that's how excited the town is. I think, we're that keen, and we're supporting from the start. Again, they're Division 2 in the Gold Coast there in the competition. So I think they're below the NPL. So
are they?
Yeah, they definitely are. Yeah, they're in the Gold Coast Premier Division. So they're topping that at the moment. They're sitting.
No, they are in the NPL, Queensland NPL.
Pardon?
They are in the Queensland NPL. They're just from the Gold Coast region.
Yeah, well, it's actually classed as the Queensland Premier. So I think I had done a little research on it this morning, and they said that it's the Queensland. It's tier below the NPL. You'll find. But they're topping that at the moment, and 1 point in front of Burleigh Heads, I believe it is. So, look, it'll be a good hit out. Again, what is it? They've won 7 games, so I think they're about 9 games into the competition. So, they're well and truly past pre-season. They'll be fit, they'll be keen, and, we've seen plenty of upsets in the FFA Cup.
Oh, yeah.
I think you and I were where were we from Bentley? I think it was.
No. We saw that glorious game where Liam Boland scored that absolute cracker for Green Gully to sink the fucking Mariners.
How good was that? I think it was about 3,500 people there and 3 blokes.
Yeah, we rocked up after indoor.
Yeah, 3 guys stuff in jet ski. I think the guys were a little shocked. To be fair, but
the Green Gully fans were very accommodating to us.
Oh,
they loved us.
Could not be any more accommodating.
But no, funny that we should work that in. Whilst you're up there watching, you might not be going to the Gold Coast to watch Gold Coast Knights and Jets, but there is plenty of FFA going on.
Hey,
there's plenty of FFA Cup that's happening over this month.
Mate, to be perfectly honest, I'm quite upset. As I said, we've got Broadmeadow Magic and obviously Charlestown United in there, and obviously the Jets. Three teams from Newcastle and not one playing at home. I'm a little upset, so I'm praying that at least one of them gets through.
Even I get to see one of them play.
Yeah, that's it. Well, obviously everyone. Obviously Benny's down in Melbourne, so he'll. I believe it's Heidelberg and Lubo.
Yeah, Heidelberg versus Lubo, Charlestown City Police.
It's pretty much Lubo's team. He does what he wants.
Or Vibes FC.
Just Vibes FC. Lubo does what he wants. He sits on the beach all day, rocks up for game time. I'd say I doubt he'd probably even train personally. Good bloke though.
Oh yeah, top bloke. Was on my flight from Melbourne to Sydney when I went to the grand final. Couldn't miss him.
He personally, he was taking a piss whilst I was at the grand final. Also, walked into the pisser, and friggin' here he is, his big 6'5", built like a brick shithouse, friggin' sitting there right in the trough next to me. I didn't know what to do. Didn't know whether to let go of my old fella and shake his hand or
shake his old fella.
Yeah, see if he'd grab it for me.
But no, yeah, that's a decent segue into that. There are a lot of NPL games and a lot of Melbourne NPL teams down here that have made it through to the FFA Cup rounds. So a heads up, I will be going to see Liam Boland's Avondale FC. Avondale kicking off against Marconi?
Marconi, I believe it's Marconi. Yeah,
I think it was Marconi. I've got it here somewhere.
Pretty much the game of the first round. Personally, I think
that's out in Broady.
Two of the NPL heavyweights giving it a crack. So yeah, feel sorry for the team there who misses out, because I reckon even if they get beat, they still would have made it a fair chunk through. So
yeah, I'll get to that one, and I'll get to the Heidelberg Charlestown game the next night.
Absolutely.
And possibly Bentley Wellington Phoenix the week after.
Yeah, I think that one's televised on TV, same as the Avondale one, which we found out this morning. Mm-hmm. So, look, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, we've never won a game in the FFA Cup personally, so to get a non-league team, I was ecstatic. I was bouncing off the land.
I was even more excited to find out that the two teams that we have only played against in the FFA Cup were playing each other.
True. And quite frankly, I couldn't be more happier for Melbourne to take a trip to Perth this early in the pre-season. So.
Neither could I, considering I work with a whole bunch of Melbourne Victory supporters.
Yeah, I think it's their year to friggin' have a flop start of the season, I think. So get beat to Perth would be muchly appreciated. But yeah, look, as I said, the podcast itself obviously is going to be very heavily Jets related. As I said at the start, Ben and I are massive Jets fans. Unlucky for Ben down in Melbourne now. I struggled for 5 years when I was down there, so obviously not being able to come to every game. But
I need to get my own frequent flyer card. The amount of flights I've made in the past 5 months.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Newcastle twice, Brisbane twice.
Yep. Who else was there? Was another one there somewhere. Central Coast away.
Yeah, I did. No, actually, Newcastle 3 times. The third time via Sydney.
Yep.
And Queensland twice. Once for the tour of duty and the other one for family reasons. But
yeah,
I think I flew to Brisbane and then came back was in Brisbane for 2 weeks or a week and then flew back to Melbourne. Was in Melbourne for 2 days and then flew back to Newcastle.
Yeah, so dedication, it's what it's all about. But again, I think personally a lot of the fans this year will be doing a lot more travelling. I think they're still, they're not expecting grand finals, I'd say, at this point, but obviously still expecting us to make finals, do well, and win a lot more games than we've had in the last decade, personally. Yeah. So,
and I make all the Melbourne games. They're nailed on every year.
Yeah, well, that's it. Obviously the wife's family, so I'll be down there for those ones as well this year. But look, I'm keen to see where the next tour of duty is going to be.
I am too.
As I said, obviously the guys, obviously in Newcastle, obviously watching this, obviously Brisbane got it last year. I think I was saying to Ben not long ago, I said I think Adelaide's the only game that I haven't been to. It's the only stadium I haven't been to, and from what I've been told, probably one of the best stadiums in the competition. So just good atmosphere and everything like that.
Me and Mrs. are going the other way.
Oh yeah.
See, she's crossing her fingers, being a Jets member herself as well. She wants it to be at Wellington.
Wellington.
She wants to go to Wellington.
Well, here's hoping Wellington play virtually right at the end of the year or whatever it is. So we've got plenty of time to plan that one, because
I might have to hire a jet boat or something, and we can strap Bodie's canoe to the back and pull him along.
Oh man, just hashtag Laurie McKenna, discounts, mate. Discounts for flights.
It reminds me, I might have to look at renewing my passport.
Yeah, well, you can't even get in the country these days without a passport anymore. It's bullshit. But yeah, look, as I said, guys, we'll be talking very heavily Jets related stuff still touching on the A League and obviously coming into all the other teams, transfer news and all that sort of stuff. And as I said, we look forward to seeing you guys every week, and hopefully you guys listen to our stuff and enjoy it and so forth. But
and without spoiling too much, we do have a mole inside Victory.
We do. I have been told we have a mole inside Melbourne headquarters, which would be fantastic when we play Melbourne. So obviously I've got a few contacts around the A League. So I've got obviously mate Sydney fan. I've got a Adelaide, Perth, Brisbane. There's a few there. So and obviously I've got another mate who's a diehard Melbourne fan. So any time to get them on and bag shit out of them, is more than happy for me to do that. But yeah, look, as I said, I think we'll start wrapping her up a little bit, and obviously I think the only two major ones I've got for you, mate, is the news on McGree. I don't think there was one person in Newcastle who thought that scorpion kick was any good. I think it was pretty rubbish. I think anyone can do it personally now that he's moved on.
Yep. Screw it, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, why not? Freaking we'll do live vlog from the football field and we'll have cracks at it. But yeah, look, as I said, I think I was a bit salty personally. I wasn't too impressed. But at the end of the day, I have been reassured that it was on decent terms. It wasn't because they put a lot of money to him and all that sort of stuff. But there's a bit of family stuff there as well, I heard. So
I heard whispers that he's a bit under the thumb, and that the reason why, one of the main reasons why that he chose City is because his girlfriend or partner has a scholarship or is getting a scholarship or something along those lines into Melbourne Uni.
Uni. So
I'll give the boy credit for thinking about his partner before thinking about himself a bit, but
yeah,
football is very dangerous in a very small world. You can make lots of enemies very, very quickly.
Absolutely, it will make the City.
Again, they're only whispers. If they are true by any chance, McGree, suck it up and just tell us. Tell us why.
Yeah.
The Newey faithful, and even like all supporters, they're straightforward people. You tell them to their face why, and they'll turn around and go, well, fair enough then. Like, none of this behind closed doors, money, because then the brain starts rattling then. Has he gone for money? Has he gone to do the Aaron Moy trick? Has he, you know what I mean? Like, just come out and say why. Like,
yeah, which I think leads into the other big one I've got is obviously Besart Berisha. Look, he was honest. You can't knock him for it. He, as he said, and you can't knock him. He's done everything in the game. He's won trophy after trophy, golden boots. He's done it all. And as we, tend to go on every year, obviously the pundits and so forth like to think, who's the best player in the A League. He's definitely up there. I don't think there's many who have done what he has. Obviously, you've had stars like obviously Bobo and all these talented, footballers.
Your Ninkovic, your Mezhayevskis, Bruno Fornarolis.
Yeah, and all that. But for what he's done, obviously you can't knock him. I dare say the Victory fans will be pretty salty on it, but
they are.
Good on them.
Well, the ones I know are.
I hope they are. But obviously, if he has gone, as I said, it's 99% confirmed. But until I see him in a shirt, I'm not going to say that he has definitely gone yet. But
well, the original whispers were reuniting with Ange Postecoglou at Yokohama, F Marinos. But it has since come out in a couple of articles as well. And again, I'm a bit like Josh. I'm not going to. We can speculate all we want in the world, and I've seen in reports only Yokohama and Hiroshima.
Yeah.
With Hiroshima being the front runner and deal, But again, and until I see him a photo of him holding up that jersey, it's purely speculation.
Yeah, look, and that's it, and
but credit to him, like he came out after the grand final and said, "Look, I've done all I can in the A League. What more is there for me to do?"
And
I want another challenge, and you can't begrudge a player for that.
No, 100%. And personally, if anyone out there who can think of something that he hasn't done in the A League that he should do, drop it below, because I don't think I can think of anything that he hasn't done. So
no, I agree.
He
hasn't done a scorpion kick.
Yeah, well, anyone can do them these days. As I said, yeah. It wasn't that good.
Well, if Giroud can do it. Sorry, Arsenal/Chelsea fans.
Yeah, so look, as I said, we, personally on my note, I'm brand new at the game. I'd like to thank Ben for obviously all his help in teaching me all the stuff, running through everything with me, and hopefully he doesn't go anywhere, because without him I'll be fucked. And you guys wouldn't get any content. So, look, mate, as I said, personal note, thanks heaps for everything you're doing for me, and muchly appreciated having you on this week. We'll see if you enjoy it and if you come back next week.
I'll be back. Relax. I'll be back.
If not, anyone who wants a gig on commentary, I need someone. If he doesn't come back. So.
I may or may not always be available.
Always available for me, mate. You know that.
Depends on the night.
Yeah, well, that's very true. Very true. Look, guys, as I said, thanks heaps for watching. All the links will be down below. Obviously, Ben's stuff, my links as well to our personal stuff. Again, can't strongly recommend going and checking out Lads Entertainment Network. Not going to big note myself, but the guys there do unbelievable stuff with the channel. Again, we're not full-time YouTubers or vloggers or podcasts. We've got lives, and we try and get as much content out as we possibly can to you guys each and every week. Ben's stuff on his personal channel is brilliant. Go check it out. Again, as I said, I'm still learning a little bit, but if you do like the stuff, guys, make sure you do give it a like, and feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel personally. And personally, guys, I will see you next week with something more Jets and A-League related topics. Again, Ben, see you, mate. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me on, mate. It's been a pleasure.
We'll catch you later. Till next time. Cheers.
Bye.